Hello, I'm Samita, a career skill wizard. I'm on a mission to help 1 lakh students to achieve their career skills. I have been in this journey in the field of education for more than 15 years. And in these interviews, I'll be talking to principals, successful students, and industry experts to find out what are those skills which are essential to achieve success. Do hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. If you want to be notified whenever I upload a video, do hit that bell icon. In the comment section, let me know what are the questions that you would like me to ask my guests. Hello and welcome. Today on the show, we have someone who has traveled half across the world to be in a place to do something which he loves to do. So, in Winds of Change, I have my students interview with Anurup Palpande. Anurup has reached a place where he wanted to go. He has done a course and he has left the country to go to another country to study there and finally have a job there. It's a very interesting journey that Anurup has. So, welcome Anurup to this episode of Winds of Change.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, Anurup, we will start after your 10th standard. So, that is the crucial time when everyone tells you to take science or don't take any other subject because you cannot make a life out of it. So,
Yeah.
you have taken science in plus two. What were your thoughts during those days?
Well, I was pretty sure that I had to do biotechnology course. So initially, I researched what subjects would I have to go through if I have to choose this field of interest. So after
Mhm.
researching, I came across that I can not only take science, but I have to take maths at some stage. So
Okay.
I kept my fields open. So I had to choose both maths and science at the same time because
Science means you had bio too.
yeah, I had bio too. Yeah,
You had bio and maths and physics and
and maths.
chemistry, of course.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, and because in this field, it's not entirely science, but you also get this part called biostatistics where you have to deal with maths. But it's not
Mhm.
like a heavy maths. It's you have to do only with statistics. So that's the only part that you have to deal with.
With
So
maths.
that's how I decided to choose my subjects, and I went
Mhm.
and I was quite good with maths and science both, but I was more directed towards science than maths.
Mhm.
So I know I
So
can do
here,
both at a time.
yeah, here I'll ask you one question. That is,
Yeah.
you said that you wanted to do biotechnology. Like, why did you choose that subject, and how did you choose? Because in that time of 9, 10th, children are not sure. So
Yeah.
how come you were so sure that you wanted to take biotechnology?
By ninth standard, I guess, yeah, by ninth standard, I was not at all sure. But
Mhm.
my aunt, she stays in United States of America, and she introduced me to this subject. So she just bought this term biotechnology, and I just started thinking, okay, what exactly is biotechnology? And I had this daily conversation with her, and she briefed me like biotechnology is not entirely medicine. It's something
Mhm.
related to science, and that is something more in boom at that moment. So I thought that this is what I interest for. I had a huge interest in science, but
Mhm.
I don't want it to go towards medicine.
Mhm.
So
So
biotechnology,
here
yeah.
you have taken time, like when your aunt introduced you, you went,
Yeah.
had a talk with her, tried to find out what is biotechnology, whether you will be
Yeah.
comfortable in, because you were comfortable in science, but you did
Yeah.
not want to go for that so-called medicine and engineering. So you wanted
Yeah.
something different and you found
Yes.
out about it. You found out,
Yes.
and that's the reason, though you were not very keen on maths, you kept maths as a subject so that you will be eligible for biotechnology.
Biotechnology.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, that's a good thinking at that stage of life. Yes. Next, you did 12th, finished with your
Yes.
12th, and then you enrolled for biotechnology.
Biotechnology. Yes.
You finished your graduation.
Yes, I did my graduation in bachelor's in biotechnology.
Mm-hmm.
So to get there, we did have a few competitive exams for
Mm-hmm.
universities and other colleges. It's like a general exams that is related to what you studied from your school
Mm-hmm.
until your 12th. So
Okay.
based on that, the cutoff is decided and you get in through.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I made it into my graduate studies in biotechnology
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in Pune.
Now, in Pune, you studied. What prompted you to take up something and go abroad? Because going abroad is a decision in itself, because
Yes.
you were hardly 22, 23 when you went
Yeah.
abroad all by
Yeah.
yourself going for a course, and you have to be really sure about what you want to do. Then only you
Yes.
can take such a big leap of faith and go to another country. And everyone goes to the USA. You went somewhere completely different. Now tell me your journey from after you completed or just before you completed your graduation. What was your thought process and how you were going to go further, and why you thought so?
Yeah. So, so when I was going through my graduation, it was a 3 years study, and
Mm-hmm.
during my second year, I started looking what opportunities I have in India after I complete my studies, and at the same time, I also started looking the opportunities that I will get abroad.
Okay.
So looking upon the not only looking upon the opportunity and the education facilities, I I started researching more towards abroad,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I came across different specialization fields that I could go through. And there was this subject which I was really enthusiastic about and really curious to know and study even further. So
Mm-hmm.
that piqued my interest. So I started looking specialization studies only for that particular subject, not only in
Okay.
India but abroad as well
Abroad.
during my second
Mm.
year. And that's how I started shortlisting what countries could I go for in terms of price, in terms of exposure, and in terms of course material and projects.
Mm. So basically, your research towards where you want to go had started in the second year itself.
So,
And you took one whole year to figure out where you need to go, what you want to study,
yeah,
what are the fields open, what
yeah,
you would get after you completed the course. So, all these background checks you did for one whole year in India and
yes,
abroad. And then
yes,
you selected that you wanted to go ahead. So, here I'll be asking you questions. That is, see, you are from a small town, you
yeah,
have studied in an English medium school. The moment you are stepping out to go to a bigger city and today across the country, you must be feeling that there are certain skills which are very, very important and essential skills that a person should carry if they want to go and do something in which they are passionate about or which they want to make their career out. One thing I could see that you had a strong research skill, that whenever you found out something, you tried to find out more about that. One, you were clear about what you don't want to do. I think so that is also important, that you are very
yeah,
sure that I don't want to go in this line. Second is to find out where you want to go. So
Yeah.
your research skill basically helped you in figuring out, finding out. It took time and it took a
Yeah.
lot of your effort to find out, but ultimately it was because you researched well, you found out where you want to go.
Yeah.
That is one skill. What are the other skills that you thought was that helped you in your graduation and your post graduation? The skills that helped you.
Um, the first skill I would say is that competitiveness. I think
Okay.
I had that since the school days, because
Mhm.
my fellow classmates, they're brilliant, and
Mhm.
I wanted to be there at that level.
Mhm.
But as we all know, all fingers are not same. I
Equal.
had my
Mhm.
own weaknesses.
Mhm.
I had my weaknesses, and I had accepted some of my weaknesses. And
Mhm.
that's the skill you want to have at times, that you
Mhm.
need to know your weakness.
Your
And
strength and your weakness. What are you good at
yes,
and what you are not good at? Yeah,
what
that is very
yeah,
important. That
exactly.
is one skill that is very, extremely important to play on your strength. To
Yeah,
play on your strength.
strength.
Mhm.
Yeah. So just because of this skill, I thought that I could distinguish what I can do, what I cannot do, but I can certainly develop that.
Mhm.
So that's one skill that helped me a lot.
Mhm. Self evaluations.
Self evaluation.
Self
Yes.
evaluation and the desire to reach the top with whatever
Yes.
skills you have, with whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm. This is an interesting introspection that you had. That is one, you found out. Second is your strength and your weakness. You were aware of that, and accordingly,
Yeah.
you chose a path in which was your strength, and you could do better in that.
Yeah.
Any other skill?
Yes. I'm a really patient person, and I think that's a very important skill that you need
Patience.
to have. Patience is
Mhm.
really important skill you need to have. There's like, you will not get what you want at the time you want. You have to
Mhm.
wait for a correct moment.
Mhm.
So that is something that I learned throughout my school days, and it also taught me how to be calm and focused at the same time.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
A 20 something boy telling me that patience is the key, and
yes,
calm and being calm, being focused, you have come a long way in life. You have come a long
yeah,
way, and your journey ahead will really be very good because
yeah,
you have picked up those essential qualities that are needed. That is patience, being calm,
yeah,
and being focused, and desire to reach to the top.
yeah,
All these skills are essential skills. Yes.
yeah.
And in school, I'll ask you one question. Were you passionate about playing
Oh, yes, I love
football?
playing a lot. Football, yeah, you
Football.
are aware of it. Yes, I love playing football. I played quite a lot of sports, including athletics. I was really good at
You
athletics.
you were good at athletics because your height is
Yeah.
also that good. So
Yes.
you were really good, and you got medals for your. Uh,
Houses.
what
Yeah.
house? Which house were you in?
Aravali,
Aravali.
the
Yeah, that's
one, the
where
one you had.
that's why Aravali used to get the sports shield always.
Sports shield.
Because,
Yeah.
yeah, so because you all were there in the Aravali house.
Yeah.
Tell me one thing. What did sports teach you?
Sports is a very important thing. As I was a goalkeeper, like,
Mhm.
with my experience, all I can say is, uh, no matter how good you are, like, I know I was pretty fine with it, but no matter how good you are, there are like there is someone who will always be there to beat you,
Mhm.
always be there to beat you. And and I really think, like, every goal has a goalkeeper, but but it's not that you can't hit a goal. You certainly can. And all you have to do is you need to believe in yourself. You need to you need to figure out different strategies to hit the goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what football taught me. Although I was a goalkeeper, but still still that always haunted me a lot. And I
And
know deep down, yeah.
if needed be, you are aware that your team, though there is a goalkeeper in front, you can have strategies
You
and
can
hit a
have,
goal.
yes, hit a
You
goal,
can hit a
exactly.
goal.
And
Very good. Very good.
that's how it works with your life goals as
Life.
well.
Mhm.
You will find obstacles at various stage, but it's up to you how you overcome them,
Mhm.
how you plan those strategies, and how you plan to uh, overcome those obstacles that are in front of you.
Mhm.
And that's what football taught me throughout. And I still keep that as a good set of experiment. Even I do this in while I do my research. I I take my experimental goals as a proper goal, and I know if I have an obstacle, I have to divert it some way that I can achieve that thing.
Mhm. Good. Very good. And talking of school life, what are those memories of school that you carry which you feel has taught you a lot and is helping you till now? Any memories of school life?
There are plenty, to be honest. There are plenty. I would say teachers itself. The teachers have taught us so many good things that has helped us what we are at right now.
Mhm.
And basically, I we have been naughty throughout our school life, but we know when we struggled, teachers were there to help us out no matter what.
Mhm.
And it's quite tough to recall what one of those memory,
No,
because we do have
do you
plenty of them.
do you remember anything what you all would do in the assembly, those skits and news and pledge that has to be done every morning? We had an assembly and every
Yeah,
house was given those. So did you participate in those?
yeah, I did. I was a captain for a year, I guess. and
Mm-hmm.
um, and basically we used to pick some of the students to say to give news, or
Mm-hmm.
to give thoughts, or to say pledge, like
Mm-hmm.
to give most or to play skits. I think this definitely helped them to overcome a public fear in them. Like most people,
Public
they
speaking,
are
yeah.
afraid, yeah, they're
Mhm.
afraid to speak in front of public. And
But
they are
being a
supposed, yeah,
yeah, being a
yeah,
captain, it was your responsibility to every time give chance to the others, make
yeah,
the whole schedule for the week. So we
yeah,
had this 100% participation, so everyone was getting chance, and
yeah,
it was your responsibility to make sure that everyone is getting chance, everyone is
yeah,
well prepared. You all would be
yeah.
taking those practices. So
Practices, yeah.
practice for the students. Do you feel that has helped you to develop your leadership quality?
Yes, it did, actually. It did. Because then you plan what you have to do in terms of leading your team
Mhm.
to reach a particular goal.
Mhm.
Because
So, is that planning helping you right now
yes,
in
it
job
definitely
sphere?
does. It
Mhm.
definitely does. Because if you have a set goals, and you know what your team capabilities are,
Mhm.
and before you have to deliver something, you have to work out with your team what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do, and what we
Mhm.
can do to make it better.
Mhm. So now let me ask you, since you are in a country, tell me which country are you in?
I'm in New Zealand at the moment, and
You are in New Zealand.
and
What
I stay
about
in Auckland.
the, yes, which place do you stay in?
I stay in Auckland.
You stay in Auckland. Now, you have gone from India, you have gone there, you have studied, and now you are working. What exactly is your work about? So, if someone is
Yes.
doing a biotechnology course, your post graduation, what did you do in, and the job that you're doing?
Yeah. So after I completed my bachelor's in biotechnology, I came
Mhm.
here, New Zealand, to do a specialization course in cellular and molecular biology.
Okay.
So that course it emphasizes on mostly on a single cell and what a single cell can do.
Okay.
And I had this course. I did this course, and I had to go through 1 year coursework and a year of research.
Okay.
And I had and that's how and just after I finished my coursework, I got a research funding with Heart Research Institute, so I had to do my research project on heart diseases.
Okay.
And
So,
after I completed my course, I started looking jobs with something similar which I had done.
mhm,
And microbiology was part of one of my course there.
mhm.
So right now I'm working as a laboratory team leader in microbiology and mycology.
Okay.
So
So,
mycology, yeah,
mhm.
sorry.
Continue. Continue.
So microbiology is something that I have done before, but mycology is something really new that I have never done before. So this is
Mhm.
another learning experience for me.
Okay. So basically, what I wanted to find out from you that if someone is taking biotechnology, then they have opportunity to work in the same field. Why I'm asking you
Yeah,
this question is nowadays we find people like those who go for engineering, they may go for different branches, but they're ending up doing some other job. It is
yeah,
not in sync with what they have studied. So that is a gap. So this is one field where you can choose where you want to go, and ultimately you can get a job on the basis of what you have studied. Your
exactly.
knowledge is being used. Your knowledge is being
Yes,
used basically
yeah.
wherever you are working. Okay. Now tell me, being in a new country, so let us have some conversation regarding what were your one thing that you found very easy to adjust in, and one thing which you found very difficult being in a foreign country?
Yeah, I'll start with the easiest.
Mm-hmm.
The people here are really warm and welcoming, so that was the easiest thing, and that helped me a lot to adjust in this country. Like
Mm-hmm.
people greet you, they smile at you, they are ready to help whenever you need a help.
Okay.
They're always ready to help you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the very important thing that I liked about this country.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the toughest thing was this is a bit funny incident, but I'll still tell that. So obviously, the language here is English,
Mm-hmm.
but
So okay, English is the language, so you didn't have
yeah,
any problem with the communication part.
no, I did not. But
Okay, so your
I
school English was sufficient for you? Like you in school you had studied
yeah,
English and you
yeah,
spoke in English. So that was helping you in your graduation and your post graduation also?
yes, a lot,
Okay,
yes, a lot.
okay. That has helped you.
It
Hmm.
yeah, it helped me a lot, but at some stage you have to keep that in touch by reading books or by watching movies, because that is
Some.
something that will definitely help you, and the more you read the books, the better your vocabulary gets,
Mhm.
and that is something really important.
Yeah, now tell me about the tough part, what you had to.
Yes.
Sorry, I
All
interrupted it.
That's all right. So the toughest part was the the speed at which the people here speaks English is
Mhm.
really fast, is really
Okay.
really fast. So that
Okay.
that is something that I was never used to. So it
Mhm.
took me a few months to get used to it. So initially, when I had my first year coursework, I my first lecture was like I did not understand a word at all because they were speaking so fast English that I was literally not able to catch a single word. So
Mhm.
I had to record each of my lecture and then I had to go home. I had to listen it twice or thrice and then have to make my notes out of it. So that was one of the toughest part that I had here for a couple of months
Mhm. Before you could get used to their
before
speed
you
of
could get used to the speed of yeah, before I get
yeah,
used to it.
every country has their own challenges. So
Yes.
once you reach
Yeah.
there, then you find out what the challenges, and then accordingly you have to work towards it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, the most common question that is asked that I'll also ask you: what about the food? Do you get Indian food there?
Yes, yes, we definitely do get Indian food here.
Mhm.
Uh, but it's definitely not as good as that we get in India.
Okay, okay. So how
So
are you
I miss
managing?
that a lot. I cook every single day. I
Okay.
love cooking and I just cook every single day, whatever the dish I want or whatever I feel like
Okay,
eating.
that's a wonderful thing that you are able
Yeah,
to cook every single day along with your work. That's
yeah.
very good. Now tell us something about the place that you live in. Is it a very what type of place? It's a fast-paced place, or is it a little slow in its life? How is the life around New Zealand?
Compared to India, the place I live in, Auckland, is comparatively low paced. But
Okay.
if you talk about overall New Zealand, it's quite a slow paced country. We
Mhm.
are New Zealand is not at all not at all as fast as if we visit major places like Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, or Hyderabad.
Mhm.
It's it's quite easy. It's quite easy
Easy
going
going.
country. Yeah.
And what about the atmosphere there? Because it's southern hemisphere, so it's
Yes.
just opposite of what we are having. Like, is the winters
Yeah.
very cold there?
Yes. So New Zealand is basically divided into two islands, North Island
Hmm.
and South Island.
So,
Yeah. So the place I stay here is comes under North Island. So
hmm.
North Island is comparatively warmer co- uh,
Hmm.
compared to South Island. South Island is it's really cold and weather there is really wild.
Hmm.
Here in North Island, it's more humid. So
Okay,
the lowest temperature that we get here is around maybe 1 or 2 degrees, but in South Island
okay.
it does snow or it gets get negatives. But the
Yes.
summers are longer.
Hmm.
We get sunsets at 9 p.m. and the maximum temperature we have here is around 30 or 32 at the max.
Okay. So when people at 30 they tell that it's very hot, don't you feel like smiling and telling them that we were from Vidarbh, we know what hot actually means?
I always end up telling them that thing because the place we come from goes up to 49.4
Yeah,
at some places. So
yeah.
I
When
always
you
encourage them, if you really want to feel the heat, you go in the
come
part
and
where I come
stay
from.
in, yeah, come and stay in with her for a couple of days during
Couple of
summer,
days,
you'll
yeah.
know what, yeah, you'll know what is summer. So what is the heat actually? Okay, so it's a beautiful place that you stay
Yeah.
there, and your work is going on very well. Now, uh, after your work, now one question that I need to ask: where do you see 10 years from now? Where do you see yourself?
Um, I'll probably see myself in this country, um,
Okay.
but still at this stage where I'm still learning. I'm someone who is really hungry to learn more. If I feel that it's not enough for me to learn at this place, I'll move on to a
Go
different place
somewhere
where I
else.
could.
So
Yeah,
your
so
main
I
thing
might
is
not
that
be working at the same place, but I might be switching on to a different company or a different field related to what I did.
Mhm. So basically, 10 years from now, one thing you're very sure you're going to learn more. You're going
Yes.
to learn and take the opportunities as it comes along and see where you can be going. Your first priority is learning, and second priority is something which you love doing.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So these
Yes.
are the two things that you will be keeping in mind when you are looking further. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I will ask you now, you are in your 20s, and parents must be thinking of getting you married. And
Yeah.
since whenever you get married, whenever you look for a partner, what are those qualities that you will be looking for in your partner? Which quality, which two qualities you tell me that you look for in a partner?
I would say my partner, if I'm looking for a partner, I'll definitely want someone who is, uh, first of all, who's willing to come here.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, true.
second thing is, who's who's ready to work,
Hmm.
and who is patient as well, because when you move to a different country, you have to be
Hmm.
patient. Like getting a job or starting a career in the field you want,
Want to.
it's
Hmm.
something that you can or you cannot get, so you should be quite adjustable in whatever situation you are in. So
So
I'll
you are
probably
looking
be,
for someone
yeah, who
calm,
can
patient,
adjust, yeah,
who can adjust, and
who
who
can
will
adjust, yeah,
basically, like you both can grow together
yeah,
in whichever place you get, whatever the future holds. No one can
yeah,
predict. So that
yeah,
has to be there. That
that
you
has to
need
be
to
there.
grow together. You need to grow together patiently, calmly, and enjoying life as you
Yes,
go along. Wow,
yeah,
that's a wonderful thing to say, because yes, being so far away from home, and when you are asking someone else to come and join you, that definitely becomes one
yeah,
major important point to go there and then adjust there to the way of life. It will be, see, you should be doing. So
yes,
Anurup, it was so awesome talking to you. It was awesome talking to you to see that the child that I knew has grown and blossomed into this fantastic human being who is talking in terms of calmness, in terms of patience, in terms of hard work, goal achieving. These are certain things that we would love to see in you all, and to see you having, going for your passion, what you thought that you will be liking that field, taking a leap of faith, going to a country which is far away from home and enjoying your life there, having a proper work life balance was very, very fulfilling for me. As a teacher, when we have these small kids under us, we always dream for them. We always dream that each and every child, you said, no, you all were naughty. Yes, I loved
yeah,
naughty kids, and I wanted all my naughty kids were full of life. So in life, they should be somewhere where they dreamt of going, not our
yeah.
dreams. Their dreams should get fulfilled. So it was so nice talking to you to find out that you have chosen a path in which you are walking and you are happy to go there and be there. What is your last thought?
Um, I would just say that for those who are listening, just hold on, just enjoy, just live in the moment, because uh, you won't get that thing, or you won't get that thing to live again. Stay in the
Mhm.
moment, stay focused, and and do your best to achieve what you can.
Mm.
There will always be people to support you, so just give your 100% to them, and I'm pretty sure you will definitely get 100% for what you want to achieve.
That was awesome. So thank you so much, Anurup, for this lovely interview. It was a pleasure
And thank you
talking
so
to
much
you.
for giving me this opportunity to be here as well. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.